Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Trades Talk with me, your host, Pop. And on this stream, we take a look at the world through the lens of an industrial point of view. What we'll do here is we'll look up a few articles on what's going on out there in industry, take a look at some newspaper clippings and such over what they're doing about the shortage of the skilled trades. And we'll also have a look at incident and accident reviews. So we'll go through a bunch of those. Then we'll hit up everybody's favorite time, which is picture time. But before we get into all that, we're going to start off with some news of the week. Let's have a look and see what's gone on since the last time we checked. And this is courtesy of Plant Magazine. And they have the news here. And this one caught my eye. Polivier announces auto plan aiming for tariff-free access to U.S. market. But that doesn't make any sense because he is not the prime minister of the country. So why is he even trying to come up with a plan? Let's see what he's going on about. Conservative leader Pierre Polivier has unveiled a new auto plan that aims to secure tariff-free access to the U.S. market. Polivier said at an announcement in Windsor on Sunday he expects U.S. President Donald Trump to agree to the plan because it would increase production in both countries. I've got a plan that would advantage both Americans and Canadians if we get to a tariff-free deal and a one-for-one production-to-sales ratio, he said. Polivier said the plan would bring American production up from 11 million to 13 million. In other words, they would win new and increased production as a result of this plan, which is exactly the stated policy objective of the U.S. administration. The Conservative plan would implement a rule where for each car produced in Canada, the same manufacturer would be able to sell a U.S. or Mexico-made car in Canada duty-free. The rule would be implemented on a dollar-for-dollar basis. Hey, what's up, Fabric? How you doing? You want tariff-free access to the Beaver Hut. Yeah. Well, we'll see if we can swing that. This guy, this Pierre Polivier, he says this is his plan, but if you're not in charge of the country, I don't know how you're going to implement it. The plan would also harmonize tailpipe emissions reductions with the U.S. and align Canada with the United States on Chinese tariffs in a move meant to give Canada leverage in trade talks. In January, Carney and Chinese President Xi Jinping signed an agreement that will see Canada allow Chinese electric vehicles into the country at a 6.1% tariff rate. They should rephrase that. It's Chinese electric coffins. That's what they're actually coming into the country because those things are going to just burn up and be pieces of garbage. So what a giant mistake it was for him to agree to that. But whatever, he wants to ruin his country like he ruined England, so he just moves from one country to the next, ruining things. Canada joined the U.S. in putting a 100% tariff on Chinese electric vehicles in 2024 with accusations of unfair subsidies and dumping vehicles in the North American market. Hey, what's up, Godzillionaire? How you doing? Y'all still listen to Carney? I don't even pay attention to what that clown says. Don't even watch the news. It's not even, I get all my news from Twitter. I don't even tune to the mainstream media because it's just a pack of lies. But yes, Trump and his administration have levied tariffs on the auto industry, saying they want to force vehicle manufacturers to move their production to the United States. Vehicles have been subject to a 25% tariff on both sides of the border since April 2025. The duty on Canadian vehicles only applies to non-American parts. Polivier argued Sunday that Canada has no alternative to the U.S. auto market. That's your question. Why are Canadian conservatives being blamed for the current problems? They haven't been in power for 10 years. Yes, exactly, Fabric. Yeah, ever since Numbskull there, Trudeau won way back when. Man, I can't even, was it 2015, 2014? It's been too long, that's for sure. Chinese EVs can be used as surprise heaters. Yeah, surprise! They're driving crematoriums. It's a crematorium with wheels, and then it gets rid of the body and everything. All you need to do is come up with a broom and sweep up everything that's left over and just dump it in the trash bin. The Americans buy 90% of the automobiles that Canada makes, and we buy almost all of the rest, meaning there are almost no overseas exports of Canadian automobiles today, and that cannot be changed on a dime, he said. The plan aims to increase Canadian auto production to 2 million vehicles annually over the next decade, up from 1.2 million last year. That's down from 2.3 million in 2016, the Conservatives said in a news release. Poilievre said Friday he's consulted with unions in the sector and said they should be supportive of his plan. Spokesman for Unifor declined to comment on Sunday. Okay, you got it. It's like no comment. No. The auto plan would also remove the GST from Canadian-made vehicles and end the Liberal government's electric vehicle subsidies. In February, the federal government announced it was reintroducing the rebate program for electric vehicles. This artificially makes it so people will buy electric vehicles. It's not natural growth. Yeah, Godzilla. Nobody seems to remember the exploding Chinese cell phone batteries several years ago. Yeah. What was it? The Galaxy S7 or whatever? The thing would just could torch your whole house. You're the department responsible for Maidbot thousands. Oh, you're sick, are you? Here's a rental vehicle. And yeah, drive it as much as you want. Where's Kanakistan going to get the power to charge these electric vehicles? Oh yeah, we get back to work, Alberta. Yeah. Actually, I think I saw. Well, there's another article coming up. You guys will see it. It's pretty funny. I really want your opinions on it. Yeah, environmentalism is so great. We have to pay people to adopt it. Yeah. Poilievre's plan would also ban vehicles that use Chinese or Russian connected software. Additionally, the Conservatives are aiming to create a harmonized North American cybersecurity and data standard and ban Chinese vehicles from proximity to Canadian forces bases and other sensitive or strategic infrastructure. The background materials do not specify how that would be implemented or enforced. So it's another hollow promise. Poilievre made the announcement after meeting with senior executives from General Motors and Ford. I just came back from Detroit, where I met with the Detroit automakers. They want to see the tariffs removed. They believe that they could increase production on their side of the border if we put an end to these tariffs. Well, I mean, I don't understand. Okay, so you've come up with a plan. That's great. You're not in power, man. You can't do anything. You can talk big, but you can't even do a damn thing. Okay, well. This one, enter quest to expand Ontario facility, reshore switchgear manufacturing. So instead of offshoring somewhere else, bringing it back into the country is what they're getting at. Switchgear is a core component in power distribution systems used in industrial facilities and infrastructure projects. Okay, just in case we don't know what switchgear is. It's pretty much for electrical. Remove your tariffs, USA. We're not going to remove ours. That would hurt our country. Yeah, exactly. It's got to be fair and equitable. Can't just be one-sided. EnterQuest Technology Solutions says it is investing $15.8 million to expand its manufacturing facility in Harrow, Ontario, and bring switchgear subassembly production back to Canada. According to a March 17th press release from the Ontario government, the expansion will allow EnterQuest to manufacture switchgear subassemblies in-house rather than relying on a U.S.-based sister facility. The company says the move will increase production capacity, reduce exposure to tariff risk, and support confirmed customer demand. Yes, Godzilla. Switchgear equals giant circuit breaker. Yep. Canada needs to restore switchgears. I hope so. EnerQuest is a custom manufacturer of prefabricated electrical equipment. The company said the expansion will support contracts tied to data center infrastructure, modular housing, and medical units, all of which require reliable electrical distribution systems. Oh, reshore. There you go. In support of the project, Ontario is providing $1.5 million through the Southwestern Ontario Development Fund, part of the province's regional development program. The release states the expansion is expected to create 125 new jobs and protect 154 existing positions across Essex County. While the technology is important, what truly makes this expansion possible is the community around us, said Melina Marshall, director at EnerQuest Technologies Solutions. Harrow has been more than just a location for our operations. It has been a partner in our growth. EnerQuest is reshoring switchgear production, will help strengthen its supply chain and improve its ability to meet delivery timelines for critical electrical equipment. Switchgear is a core component in power distribution systems used in industrial facilities and infrastructure projects. Well, okay, go ahead, bring it back. They're getting the money for it from the government, so keep manufacturing that switchgear. Here's what I wanted to see you guys' opinion on. Atkins Realis and NVIDIA collaborate on nuclear-powered AI infrastructure. It's pronounced nuclear. Nuclear. Don't worry, our AI overlords will still need plumbers, electricians, and millwrights to sustain themselves. Oh, it's funny because it's true. All right, this one. I really wanted to know what you guys think of this. Atkins Realis Group announced it is collaborating with NVIDIA to explore the development of nuclear-powered large-scale AI data centers as demand for computing infrastructure continues to grow faster than available power supply. According to Atkins Realis, the collaboration will explore how NVIDIA's computing and digital twin technologies could be used in the planning and design of nuclear-powered AI facilities, allowing infrastructure to be modeled and optimized virtually before construction begins. Fabric, why can't Canada make ammunition? We Eagle Boys would buy enough to give Kazakhstan a budget surplus in a year. I don't know. Why don't we? We got enough of the materials for it. We got lots of raw material, metal to make it, so I think they should do it. Canada's speed running the Fallout universe? Oh no. Yeah, sounds like it, eh? Nuclear-powered AI? Oh, hell no. Yeah, that's why I wanted your opinions on this. It sounds pretty funny. Where did we leave off here? Oh, the company said the initiative will focus on evaluating how its experience in nuclear power, energy systems, and large project execution could support the development of AI computing facilities. NVIDIA's role will center on providing computing, networking, and simulating technology, including tools used to create detailed digital twins. Atkins Realis said work is being driven by rising global demand for AI infrastructure, which has prompted governments and developers to seek reliable, low-carbon power sources for large data centers. The company identified nuclear power as a potential steady baseload option for gigawatt-scale AI facilities. Oh, you mean solar and wind aren't going to power the AI infrastructure? Well, that's not very environmentally friendly. What's going on here? I don't hear anybody talking about they should run it with wind power or solar. Why isn't anybody coming after the data centers? Well, that's just preposterous. They should be forced to use wind and solar to power their AI data centers. You even buy most of our ammunition in your silly metric units? Yes, you do. Yes, you do. As the original equipment manufacturer and exclusive license holder of Can-Do nuclear technology, Atkins Realis said it will assess how its standardized nuclear solutions could meet the power and operational needs of AI data centers. The collaboration will also examine how digital modeling and AI-assisted workflows can help streamline engineering, construction, and project delivery. So there you go. They want nuclear-powered data centers. Just give me a second here. All right. So that's the end of that one. Not a very long article, but good enough to get you the idea. I mean, are you going to do you build the nuclear power center and then build the AI thing around it? I don't know people who want to work in a data center that has like the chance of getting irradiated. Like you're going to have like lead-lined walls and all that stuff. Streamline engineering, so blasphemy it is. Yeah. Yeah, net zero is a joke. Nuclear for me, solar for thee. I know, eh? Double standard. Got a giant data center. Yeah, let's just build a nuclear reactor, right next to it or right beside it. So we can power it. Nuclearly. Hey, it's DJ Ronnie G. What's up, DJ? How you doing, man? On your way home? Anyways, that's that. And I believe that was all that really interested me in the news this time around. But here was one. You mean cows aren't net zero? They are so beneficial. I don't care how much methane they say they give off. This one caught my eye when it started mentioning BlackRock. This be required to give a portion of that energy away to the normal residential clients. You feed it into the grid for sure. Maybe bring down the price of electricity. Yeah, especially if they pillage the local aquifer for coolant water. Yeah, exactly. Apparently some data centers use evaporative cooling. Okay. Remember when they were berating people for using crypto mining because they used too much electricity? All that went out the window for the data center. Yeah, it did. Yeah, how dare you buy an NVIDIA 4090 for your crypto? They were buying up NVIDIA video cards for just crypto mining. So they literally take fresh water and evaporate it to cool the AC. Ha! It is batshit insane. I agree. Your favorite comment the other day was net zero commercial air travel. What? What are they going to do? Glide? Here you go. Have a balloon, lift the aircraft into the atmosphere, higher up in the stratosphere, to about 50,000 feet, and then release it and have it glide to its destination. Huh? Come on, guys. That's a good idea. You can use hydrogen because it's once you let it go, it just goes into the atmosphere. It doesn't hurt the atmosphere. The plane is good. You're up high enough. You should be able to glide to your destination. Huh? I think it's a great idea. You realize most new aircraft are made of carbon fiber? Actually, no. I thought it was aircraft aluminum. Maybe I'm just too old school. I'm not up on what they make aircrafts out of right now. Yes, hydrogen is a hell of a more efficient than helium. Yeah, it is. Bring back hydrogen airships. I want Zeppelins. Let's bring back the Zeppelin. All right, look at this. It's about BlackRock. I don't know how you guys feel about BlackRock. I'm pretty suspicious of them because it's BlackRock. The same guys that are pushing ESG and everything on people and DEI on companies. Asset manager BlackRock announced a $100 million philanthropic initiative, the Future Builders program, to address the growing demand for skilled trades workers in the United States. As of the 787, commercial aircraft are more carbon fiber than aluminum. Okay. Yeah, I did not know that, Godzillionaire. Thanks for bringing that up, though, because, I mean, as long as it's good, sound building design and it's not going to fail. Trebuchets are technically net zero. So are guillotines. They're a renewable resource. You can make a bunch of guillotines. Funded by the BlackRock Foundation, the program aims to train 50,000 Americans over the next 5 years, providing access to skilled trades training, licensure support, and financial education to foster long-term economic security. As the U.S. faces historic infrastructure demands, capital alone is not enough. People are central to building our nation's future, said Larry Fink, chairman and CEO of BlackRock. The initiative will focus on critical trades such as electricians, HVAC technicians, plumbers, and ironworkers, which are essential for modernizing the nation's infrastructure. The will has to be there, though, you guys. The money and the will to modernize your infrastructure, it has to be there. And I think a lot of people put the blinders on and they're like, nah, it's good enough. It'll last. What are you talking about? When this stuff is like 60 or 70 years old. Sometimes even older than that. If the devil himself popped up in front of me, my response would be, thank God it isn't black. Nice. That's all right, Fabric. Feel the same way. As the country sees the need for historic investment in infrastructure, demand for workers in skilled trades such as electricians, HVAC technicians, plumbers, and ironworkers continues to accelerate. In a statement, the company said, over the next decade, employment in U.S. infrastructure-related skilled trades is projected to grow by more than 5%, outpacing the national average of 3%, representing hundreds of thousands of net new jobs. Matching the pace of demand for these skilled workers is essential in enabling the next phase of economic growth. The Future Builders Initiative comes at a pivotal time for the construction industry. According to Construct Connect chief economist Michael Gooks, construction wages have continued to rise, with the average hourly pay reaching $40.55 an hour in January 2026. That's actually really good. And that's American dollars, too. A 3.8% increase from the previous year. Weekly hours have also grown, pushing average weekly earnings to $1,590, approximately 25% higher than the average private non-farm worker. These trends underscore the increasing demand for skilled labor driven by the need for infrastructure modernization and expansion. In January 2026 alone, the construction sector added 33,000 jobs, marking the second largest monthly gain in over 2.5 years. BlackRock's initiative is designed to address the skilled labor shortage by collaborating with governments, labor organizations, and nonprofits to scale effective training programs. The program will also integrate financial education and digital savings tools to help workers achieve economic security from their first paycheck through retirement. I don't know if I like that idea. That sounds pretty sketchy right there. The initiative builds on BlackRock's broader philanthropic efforts, which have included $354 million in grants since 2020, supporting over 250,000 individuals through education and workforce training programs. The Future Builders program is expected to play a key role in meeting the nation's $10 trillion infrastructure investment needs by 2033. Holy, $10 trillion infrastructure investment. Whew. That is a lot. That is like everything for every state. Whew. I don't know if it's enough. You guys let me know. Is that enough? Is that enough for your infrastructure? Roads, bridges, electricity, gas, like any utilities. And is that just for upgrading or making them better? Much like Dragon Ball, TOS, only Eagle Boy dollars are canon. All other dollars are fanfic. Oh, it's pretty good, Fabric. The Future Builders Initiative was a focal point at BlackRock's U.S. Infrastructure Summit in Washington, D.C., where policymakers, corporate leaders, and labor organizations convened to discuss strategies for accelerating infrastructure development. Ruth Porritt, President and Chief Investment Officer of Alphabet and Google, praised the initiative, stating, "Only through collective investment can the public and private sectors ensure all Americans have an opportunity to benefit from AI's upside." BlackRock is the world's largest asset manager, with a mission to help more people achieve financial well-being. As a fiduciary to investors and a provider of financial technology, BlackRock manages trillions of dollars in assets globally. This should be a red flag, everybody. This is crazy. Yeah, they've got way too much power. And I like how their mission is to help more people achieve financial well-being. Not us, but their friends, I'm sure. Help more people. Okay, not the average person. And they manage trillions of dollars in assets. That's crazy that they do that much. Through its philanthropic arm, the BlackRock Foundation, the company funds initiatives that strengthen financial security and expand economic opportunities. And that's it. That's the end of that one. So apparently BlackRock is investing. BlackRock philanthropic? Since when? Question is, what does BlackRock want for that investment? You could modernize the U.S. for approximately $3 trillion. Yeah, what's the other 7 going for? By poor people, we mean those that come back that vote for us. Yes, exactly. Just a sec, guys. All right. Yeah, that's those guys. Let's try something else here. This is from City News. Look, it's the Premier of Ontario. He's using a plasma cutter. They say he's plasma welding, but I mean, I don't know. Either they don't know what they're talking about or he's actually plasma cutting. And if he's working on the hood of a car, like, what's he welding on there? Anyway, he's probably making a hole or something. I don't know. Ontario must make entering the teaching profession more attractive to skilled tradesmen if it hopes to address a long-standing shortage of technological education teachers and ultimately get more students into the trades, a teachers' organization says. Yeah, plasma unwelding. I don't know what he was doing there. I've cut with a plasma cutter before. Very noisy, but very quick and good for thin material. Just makes the tiniest of arcs. And the thicker the material you cut, the more it cuts at an angle. So that's the only problem you have with plasma cutting. But other than that, good machines. The Ontario Teachers Federation, which represents all teachers in publicly funded schools, is putting forward a list of recommendations to the provincial government that aim to make a move from the trades to teaching make financial sense. Well, that's the thing. Us tradesmen that are out working in the field and all that, we make way more money than they pay teachers. So unless more of us would want to teach if it was equal compensation for what you're doing out in the field. So until they can bring those wages up, I don't think there's going to be any kind of run to teaching. The rooster tail on some plasma cutters is wild. Most realize those will bury. Oh yeah, yeah. Even the radiation come off it. The ultraviolet rays coming off it will give you a suntan. You've heard about reverse welding? How does it work? And yes, plasma cutters can melt steel beams. You better believe it. I worked at a steel fab shop. I've showed you guys pictures before, but we had a plasma table. And we could cut up to 1-inch thick steel plate. And it took a bit, right? But it was all underwater. The plasma head would be pushed under a bit of water to cut down on the noise and the smoke. And it would be able to cut through all that plate. You slow the feed down and yeah, it makes its way through. I've never heard about reverse welding either, so I can't tell you how it works. The trouble is, sometimes incentivizing those in the trades to get into the education system. OTF President Chris Cowley said in an interview, that can be a challenge because a lot of times it would mean they take a pay cut. And that's what I said to you guys already. Ontario has been grappling with an overall teacher shortage since not long after former Liberal government doubled the length of teachers' college from 1 year to 2. And Ministry of Education documents in recent years have highlighted particular shortages of French and technological education teachers. During the 23-24 academic year, the most recent figures available, just 365 tech ed teacher candidates were enrolled at English faculties of education across the province. According to the OTF, another 25 were enrolled in only French language program. Working the plasma table always wore long sleeves, even in 100-degree Fahrenheit summers. I like my forearms. Yeah. No kidding. Thing is, you teach via your twice-a-year clinics, but would never consider full-time until after you retire. Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, you got that right, Fabric. It is critical to ensure there are enough qualified tech ed teachers if the government hopes to achieve its goals of boosting the skilled trades workforce, Cowley said. If this is a priority for the government, they should make it a priority for when the rubber hits the road in our schools. I think the government has good expectations for some of their policies. Nobody's questioning that, or the need for more tech ed or other skilled trades, but the resources need to be put in place on the back end to make sure the infrastructure is there so that we can implement these changes in schools. The government made a regulation change in 2024, allowing teachers with general credentials to teach new mandatory courses on technology and the skilled trades. A spokesman for Education Minister Paul Calandra said that gave schools more flexibility. This helps ensure more students have access to hands-on learning and skilled trades opportunities in their schools. She also noted that the government is putting $55.8 million towards training up to 2,600 new teachers by 2027. Including expanding seats in technological education. The OTF, which stands for the Ontario Teachers Federation, says the solution to an overall shortage of tech ed teachers is not a reduction in the necessary qualifications, as they teach specialized subject matter and need expertise, particularly when health and safety risks are far greater than in general classes. Currently, technological education teachers need at least 5 years of work experience in their field, or a 5-year combination of work experience and post-secondary education. That should not be reduced, for example, to 3 years. The OTF argues since students can now leave high school after grade 10 for an apprenticeship, and they could have 3 years of experience by age 19. They're just assuming somebody would get an apprenticeship. Grade 10, you're about 16 years old. I think you need to be 18 to work, unless you have parents. Anyway, they're dumb for saying that. That's a stupid justification. Instead, the government should boost funding so more faculties of education could offer technological education programs that allow teacher candidates to study and work at the same time. The OTF says 5 schools currently offer a multi-session format that has the tech teacher candidates take education foundations and methods courses, followed by a 2-week practicum. Then they get a transitional teaching certificate. That way, people who are established in their trade careers do not have to give up earning a salary for 2 years while they study to become a teacher. The government should also look into extending a program like its Learn and Stay grant to tech ed teacher candidates. The Teachers Federation recommends the program covers the cost of tuition, books, and supplies for students enrolled in some nursing, paramedic, and medical laboratory technology programs in underserved areas. The OTF also has a recommendation for itself. The Federation should encourage the unions involved in collective bargaining coming this year to recognize relevant trade experience for salary grid placement with the goal of achieving consistency across Ontario school boards. I mean, like, yeah, I would go into teaching, but it would be a major pay cut. And it's like, they got to make it worth your while if you're going to go there and spend time trying to teach the young people skilled trades. Yeah, 5 years for a quarter of what you make in private. Nobody's going to take that. Exactly, Fabric. Nobody's going to step up. Remember those who can't do or can't teach unless you pay them the same? Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I couldn't do it. I couldn't take the pay cut. It would be just terrible. Yeah, less dangerous, somewhat. But, yeah. Hopefully they figure it out. But let's move along now, fellas. Let's move along to accident investigation. It's accident time. It's accident time. I saw this one. Fatality. A worker was pinned under a delivery truck. You know, we got Amazon running around all over the place. You know, you got USPS, Canada Post, UPS, FedEx, DHL. You got all those delivery trucks running around. So let's see what happened. The document reports OHS investigation of a worker that was pinned underneath a cargo truck while performing mechanical diagnostics in June 2019. It begins with a short summary of what happened. The rest of the report covers the same information in greater detail. Your average veterinary teacher makes $60K a year. You pay more than that in taxes. Woo! Death ordering off Amazon Prime. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I mean, if they bumped it up to, you know, if you could make more money, it would be better to go into teaching. Yeah, but yeah, only $60K a year for a veterinary teacher. They got to do better than that. All right, let's hear the incident summary. A delivery truck broke down in an alleyway. The driver requested a service mechanic attend. A mechanic arrived and began performing diagnostics in and under the inoperable delivery truck. The mechanic engaged a mechanical component from beneath the vehicle, which inadvertently caused the truck to roll backwards. The mechanic's chest became pinned by the front passenger tire, and 911 was called. Emergency medical services arrived on site and pronounced the mechanic deceased. Musharrafna was incorporated July 26, operating as Ogden Truck and Trailer Repair. Musharrafna's company directors, who held equal voting shares, were not directly involved in the business operations of OTTR. OTR commenced mechanical services in August 2016, was managed and operated by Musharrafna's sole representative, the lead mechanic. Okay. Maybe Kanakistani government hired Amazon as a third-party maid vendor. Well, you know, they're outsourcing, eh? Isaac B. Transportation, or IBT, is an owner-operator operation delivering small packages. IBT delivers packages on behalf of Canpar. Canpar is a small parcel delivery company that specializes in package shipping. It's headquartered in Brampton, Ontario. The lead mechanic for OTTR had approximately 13 years of automotive and heavy equipment technician experience at the time of the incident. Okay, so he's got a lot of experience. The lead mechanic had completed an automotive apprenticeship service technician program, followed by 2 years of mechanic apprenticeship within Alberta's heavy equipment technician truck and transport program. Lead mechanic managed OTTR's business operations and performed the majority of the mechanical repairs. So it was a one-man show. That's what it looks like to me. Yeah, a tire doesn't pin your chest, it flattens it. That's probably what happened. Okay, let's have a look here. A Ford commercial stripped chassis cargo truck. The vehicle involved in the incident was 2007 Ford E450 commercial stripped chassis cargo truck with a gross vehicle weight rating of 6,300 kilograms or 14,000 pounds. The exterior of the truck was deckled with the Canpar logo. The vehicle was configured with one sliding door on the opposite side of the driver's seat. At the time of incident, the vehicle was partially loaded with small packages. The truck was owned and operated by IBT. What I'm hearing is didn't use jack stands or wheel chocks. Front hood is opened. Wooden blocks placed by Calgary's fire department to secure the vehicle from movement. Okay, so the Calgary Fire Department placed those blocks at the wheel. Sequence of events. Here we go. IBT was delivering packages in Calgary. IBT parked the delivery truck on a paved alleyway behind 750 49th Ave. The parking brake was not engaged prior to exiting the vehicle to perform delivery. When IBT returned to the truck, it would not start. IBT performed troubleshooting activities, but the vehicle would not start. IBT contacted Canpar to request the service of a field mechanic at the location. Canpar rep contacted OTTR. The lead mechanic contacted IPD and agreed to travel to the truck's location. The lead mechanic arrived and brought a small flashlight and a digital circuit tester. Okay, so what we got here is A is the approximate location where IBT was standing when the truck rolled backwards. So he was in the vehicle. The lead mechanic was positioned horizontally behind this front tire. That's C. That's right there. D is the instrument used to identify a 1.5 degree slope. So it wasn't flat. It had a bit of a... and the flashlight and digital circuit tester brought by the mechanic are right here. You do appreciate a stripped chassis. Oh, hey, I see what you were doing there. And stripped chassis, isn't that the place down by the airport? The lead mechanic entered the vehicle and attempted to start it. The lead mechanic moved the gear shift lever, identifying that it was very loose, and then assessed the gear shift wires. The transmission indicator located on the front dash was situated at the first gear mark. Right there. The lead mechanic exited the vehicle and laid down behind the front passenger side tire facing upwards. It is believed that the lead mechanic began performing diagnostics on the starter system. During the diagnostics, IBT exited the vehicle and stood nearby to observe. Okay. While observing, IBT witnessed that the ignition was in the on position. IBT entered the vehicle and turned the key to the off position. While still positioned below the vehicle, the lead mechanic told IBT to turn the key enough to engage the power supply. While standing next to the steering column, IBT obliged and turned the key to engage the power supply. IBT advised the lead mechanic that the key was now in the on position. It is believed that the lead mechanic then manually engaged the starter, causing the unsecured truck to move backwards. The vehicle moved backwards, contacting the lead mechanic's chest. Oof. How many jack stands are you going to use, Tony? Me? Yes. I always like that one. Hey, dog, I heard you like jack stands, so I put jack stands below your jack stands. So you can jack stand while you jack stand. IBT exited the vehicle and found the lead mechanic pinned by the front passenger tire. IBT shouted for help. 2 workers from the adjacent building were outside at the time and came over to assist. One of the workers called 911. EMS arrived, the police, and the fire department. The fire department secured the vehicle for movement by placing wooden blocks around the rear wheel, and then they extracted the lead mechanic. The lead mechanic was pronounced deceased on site. A review for enforcement action was completed, and it was determined that prosecution or administrative penalty were not appropriate based on the circumstances surrounding this incident. Once again, last week we saw somebody have a vehicle swing out from jack stands and land on them and crush them. This one, he was rolled over because I don't know what he was trying to do. Like, if the thing won't start, don't engage the starter. Go underneath and see if you could move the selector, the gear selector, into park. Did Canada copy 911 from US? Y'all didn't metrify it? Yeah, it wasn't always that way. There was there wasn't any 911 years ago. But yeah, 911, easy to remember. So this thing rolled backwards, even though it was supposedly in first gear, maybe? Seems kind of weird to me. If you try to start the thing in gear, shouldn't it have rolled forward instead? And also, you're a mechanic. You're dealing with you're a heavy equipment mechanic. You're dealing with a commercial vehicle. Grab wheel chocks. Chalk the wheels forward and backwards. If he would have done that, it wouldn't have backed over him. Like that takes look how low to the ground that is. Like, you gotta be pretty skinny to climb under there and try to work on that thing. Yeah, it puzzles me too. Yeah, can't see why he's under the truck. Yeah. It looks like, and I don't know, the picture's not that great, but it looks like he's got the cover off for the shroud that covers the motor. See there? Kind of looks like he's got that open. So I don't think he needed to be underneath. I mean, just because he had a lot of years of experience doesn't mean he was a good mechanic. Totally unrelated, the guy under the vehicle worked for Hillary Clinton. Yeah. Yeah, that's a strange one. Like I say, that's not a lot of room to climb underneath. And the first thing I would have done is try to get that gear shift going to park. Because that's probably why it wasn't starting. It probably wasn't starting because either the linkage or something or whatever makes this thing move the transmission into park probably didn't do it. Is it 20 years of experience or 1 year 20 times? Yeah, exactly. So I would have definitely gone over this. And really, OHS should have gone over this truck with a fine-tooth comb as well. They should have checked. Because then you go back to Canpar or whoever owns the truck and be like, hey, Your truck is in not good mechanical condition. So I'm guessing it didn't start because it was in gear. And I don't know why he tried to engage the starter if it was still in gear. Yeah, the key is in the on position. Lead mechanic manually engaged the starter, causing the unsecured truck to move backwards. Hey, Veritex, how you doing? So I don't get it. I wish they would have dug deeper into this. Yeah, climbing underneath. Anyways, guys, let this be a lesson. Always chalk your wheels. Keep the thing from moving. You don't know if the parking brake doesn't work. And that's another thing. Why didn't he apply the parking brake? It even says if you can't gear it, do not get under it. Was the guy a foreigner? We don't know. I'd have to look and see if we could find out who OTTR. But I don't know. Maybe that doesn't exist anymore because it was a one-man show. Let's see here. The parking brake was not engaged prior to exiting the vehicle to perform the delivery. So when you get there, put the damn parking brake on. And even if you do, you don't even know if it's in good shape. Grab your wheel chocks. Chalk the wheels. Make sure it's not going to kill you. It's not worth it. This guy got run over for no good reason other than he was negligent in his job. You want to go home and enjoy the money you're making. You're a mechanic. You're making good money. You want to enjoy all the money you make, doing whatever you do, and getting hit or getting run over by a truck is not the way to do it. Screw the wheels, you're getting that vehicle off the ground. That's it, Fabric. You got the right idea. Yeah, they even have a digital level there to show that there's a slope, a slight slope that it's on. Digital level. You know, chalk was used for this. Chalk. Wheel chalk. Yeah. Not the stuff you write with, DJ. I see what you did there. Okay, so with my knowledge that I have of automotive and such, the first thing I do when I've shown up, he's like, it doesn't start. Okay, is it in park? It doesn't look like it. Okay, let me try to put it in park. So if it doesn't go into park, it's like, okay, maybe the shifter moves, but it doesn't move the indicator. All right, so the linkage is broken. Okay, where's the linkage? Okay, look for the linkage. All right, where's the transmission? Look for the transmission. Okay, can we put that into park? Then try it. And if it still doesn't start, it's like, okay, something's worse than that. We're going to have to call a tow truck. But instead, he tried to engage the starter himself, which caused the vehicle to roll backwards onto his chest. And it crushed him. Because the freaking vehicle weighs 14,000 pounds. So this was preventable. Yeah, transmission doesn't work. Tow it to a shop. Yep. Eat the cost of a tow truck. Because now you've got the cost of a funeral. And a tow truck might cost $400 to $500 for this thing. What's a funeral cost? $6,000 to start. I mean, it should be a no-brainer, and especially if it's your funeral. Starters and post-mortem appetizers. Yeah, DJ. Well, it's unfortunate. I wish that wouldn't have happened. Make sure, guys, make sure the takeaway from this is don't crawl under a vehicle if it can't start. You don't know what's going on. Get the wheel chocks. Get the thing put into neutral, or put into park, I should say. Put that thing in park. Call a tow truck. Don't crawl underneath thinking you can fix it up. That's what Big Transmission wants you to think. But yeah, that's an unfortunate. All of these are unfortunate. Any of these accidents and incidents we look into, they're all unfortunate ones that happen. And it's like, it didn't have to go like this. It didn't have to happen like this. You've been asked multiple times in your career to approve dumb stuff to save a few pennies. No, don't do that. That's right. Good one, Godzillionaire. Yes. Don't approve dumb stuff to save pennies. What do you think he was going to do with the train? Exactly. And why were you trying to start it? It won't start. If it won't start, it's probably because it wasn't in park. That's usually what happens. And also let's throw some blame here on the guy that was driving the truck, the operator. First of all, didn't put your parking brake on. Always put your parking brake on. Secondly, always put it in park. Don't leave it in gear. I don't know what you were doing or what you think is good, but don't do it that way. So he deserves some of the blame for this. If something's wrong with your truck, tell your supervisor that your truck is no good. It needs to be worked on. And if they won't do something about it, that's when you go to OSHA and you pay them a phone call and be like, hey, these guys are running, or call DOT. Hey, these guys are running around with trucks that are unsafe. And see how fast they show up. Just a second. That's how Anton Yelchin died. Yeah, Chekhov from Star Trek. Yeah, car backed over him. He was crushed under a car or something, DJ? Whole thing was tragic. Yeah, I agree. It's senseless. So yeah, the guy that was the actual delivery driver, he needs some responsibility for this too. Don't be afraid to speak up, guys. Speak up. Something's wrong. If you drive a company vehicle, or you know somebody that does, tell them to speak up if something is not right. If the vehicles are unsafe, because it's not just yourself you're taking out. You could take out families, other people on the highways driving around. Something fails. Steering, brakes, transmission failure. You're taking out innocent people. So always make sure things are taken care of, and don't be afraid to call the authorities. Because is it worth dying? I don't think so. The company is not your family. They're not going to care you're gone. If you died tomorrow, by the afternoon they would have your job posted. They're not going to mourn your loss. They're going to be like, well, we'll get somebody else. DOT response is hours. OSHA may or may not respond in a month. And we'll tell you to call DOT anyway. I don't know, maybe down in the States. I think DOT is a little bit more responsive here. And they don't screw around either. They take it pretty seriously with commercial vehicles. And another thing with commercial vehicles, they should always have a commercial vehicle inspection sticker. At least in Canada, that's called the CVIP. And they should get one every year. Your commercial vehicle needs to go through that. And they will look it over with a fine-tooth comb and pick out anything that are discrepancies and things that need to be fixed. Because commercial vehicles can cause a lot of damage. Big trucks, big semi-trucks. They can cause a lot of damage, take out a lot of people. All right, enough of that. Let's move along. Let's move along to picture time. It's picture time. I know you guys like picture time. Oh, and it's time to play Guess That Background. Who knows what background or what show this background's from? What anime is this background from? Anybody? Any guesses? It is one of my absolute favorites of all time. And if you haven't watched it, do yourself a favor. Sit down and watch it. And the prize goes to Godzillionaire. Godzillionaire with the answer there. Gunbuster. Yes. I should have known you would have got it, big guy. But yeah, that's what it is. A lot of people didn't know. But I will have to choose a different one for next time. Next time we'll have another one. You guys can guess at it. We'll see if you can get it. Gunbuster is only 6 episodes long. It's a excellent OVA from Gainax, and I'll tell you, they did an excellent job. Battle of the Pantsu. Okay. Not like I told you to watch it. I know. I'm glad you enjoyed it, though, Godzilla. But getting to the main title of the stream here was Check That Level. More like Straight Axe. Ha! So I've got some videos today on levels. What do you do if you need to know the level of a vessel, but you can't like put a dipstick in there or anything like that? So you need a level monitor, and this is what these are. Yeah, DJ, the ship style and uniforms are great. You should see when they're dressed up for combat. They almost look like ninjas. It's really great. I just get, that's just tickles me. That it's like, oh, they dress up like ninjas. Are you gonna have to yo-go ho this one? Maybe yo ho ho. That's your kind of nameplate shot. Can't see anything. Just give it a minute. Just give it a minute. Okay. So this is a level indicator. And you can see it connects to this tower that is full of carbon disulfide. Stolas the Prince is here. Hey, how you doing? Welcome in. I am the Pop Culture Mechanic, and we are having our trades stream right now. So if you like if you know an electrician, welder, millwright, kind of stuff like that, we look into this kind of stuff and we talk about it. I'm a millwright myself, so I talk about the skilled trades every Tuesday. And we have a look at things that the news and articles and such. And now we're looking at a level indicator. And I don't know if anyone's seen one of these before, but this is quite the quite the level indicator. It uses a float inside to let you know how much is in this vessel. And I'll show you later on what the floats look like. But this will tell you everything. There's a certain specific gravity because the liquid is a certain specific gravity. It needs a specific float, so it'll get accurate readings. And Stolas, you went to Korea before. Hey, Korea. I hear it's a nice place. I haven't been myself, but I would go. I'd visit Korea. Is that a 300-pound ANSI flight? Yeah, it sure is. It's got 8 bolts. That's kind of the giveaway. The 8. And you can see the level is right there. So it's 1 foot 1 foot 4 inches. Those things are like little magnets, and they flip over when the float goes by. It's actually really neat. You loved Korea too? Yeah, I mean, why not? South, but not north. 6 meteorite airburst occurred over Cleveland today. That's neat. Definitely ROK, not DPRK. Yes. Yeah, so there we go. And this is how you put the float in. You separate these flanges, and the float, once it's empty, right? You empty this out, and then you open up the flange, and then the float should come right out. Using freedom units, of course. Our plant was built in the 1960s, so a lot of stuff is going to be in Imperial. The Canada only switched over to metric in like 1979. So before that, it was all Imperial units. Next up, that was a small level indicator. Here, let's show you one that's a little bigger. Hello, Sylvia. How are you doing? So this guy is a lot taller, as you can see. That is a almost, I think it's a 6 foot. But it is quite a large level indicator. Look at that. And you can see that yellow is telling you how much is in there. And oh, there it is. So they got 3 feet 6 inches in there. So that vessel is half full. What are we up to? Hey, we're checking out level indicators for vessels. So in these vessels, usually you want to check the level of something. You know, you can dip a stick or something in there and measure it, or something like that. But none of these vessels can be open to atmosphere because it will kill everyone. So they're full of hydrogen sulfide or carbon disulfide. So what you have to do is you have to use a float indicator that we have here, as you can see on the left-hand side of this vessel. Is not the nuclear vessel, just vessel. So, yeah, that's what we do there. And I thought it was quite interesting because I was doing a lot of inventory of our floats and what we need to have, like for spares, and we don't have a lot of spares. So, and I will show you what those floats look like in the next video that happens here. But yeah, that's just this guy here. Isn't it wild how stuff built in the 60s and 70s was so robust it still survives today? Yes. I have pictures of our compressor built in 1967. The thing is built like a tank. The side covers are like 1-inch thick steel. It's just unreal how heavily robust it is built. And once again, congratulations to Gunbuster or Godzillionaire for guessing that this show is Gunbuster. One of the better shows that I've watched. And here we go. These are the floats that go inside those level indicators. And there's 3 different, we only have the 3 different sizes. As you see, somebody marked that there's a dent in it. And it's like, okay, why did you guys dent it? And there's this one. It's marked as an old float. And then there's this guy. He's a new one. And it'll have written on it what the specific gravity of it is and how heavy it is. I thought you were going to call those gun busters. And look at that. Magnetic. So there's a magnet inside. And that's how it turns those indicators on the outside. See, look at that. You can move it around. Move it around. Magnetic. So that's how you that's how these work. So these go inside and they float in the liquid. They have, and you can hear. So there's stuff inside it. I'm assuming it's like steel shot or something like that, just to help weigh it, give it the right amount of weight that it needs. And that's for a different one. So as I said before, those ones, you open the flange up and you push those inside, the floats, close it back up and then fill it up with liquid, and those will float in the liquid at the right level. And you can't just interchange one for another because they're made specifically for a certain fluid. So some are made for hydrogen sulfide and some are made for carbon disulfide. And just like this one, so right in there, and you can see they're a different color. When they flip over, they change color. Where is it here? You can see they're white and then they're red. So that gives you a visual indication as to where the level is. And because these guys are probably little magnets, the magnet inside the float, when it goes up, these just flip over because they get pushed away by the magnetic field, and that's how it shows you how much fluid you have. So there's no way that you're going to have to risk your health or well-being by checking what the level is at. You measure in specific gravity so you can regulate your head pressure regardless of PSI. Yes. Yeah, and each fluid has a different specific gravity. We even have some for propane. So I should have said it's 3 different kinds. We've got CS2, H2S, and propane. But yeah, you separate out those flanges, and the float will go right up inside there. And then once the fluid is let back in, it'll just find the level naturally. Sometimes the floats, they get banged up a bit. Sometimes they wear out. They absorb some fluid that gets inside them, and it throws off the weight, and then you're going to get erroneous readings. So then you're going to have to get a new one. And a new float. For that one I was just showing you is about $3,700 for a new float. Just one. Propane and propane accessories. Sort of. I use propane and propane accessories, I'll tell you what. But yes, the propane we use is for cooling, and we also use it in the process. It helps make, it helps us in our process of making H2S and CS2 more pure. It makes it more pure. We normally use natural gas, but when we want to make stuff that has a little higher purity, we have to use propane. And yeah, like I said, the floats are about $3,700 each. And you can see those are yellow colored. And yeah, that is got to be a 6 foot indicator. So yeah, there you go. That is how you measure the level of vessels that are enclosed. Not surprised, is that float made of silicon? Nope. I would say they're made of stainless steel. So that they don't rust or contaminate. And the one on the very far right, you can barely make out the writing on it. I should have got a close-up of the writing. Not the black marker, but there's like, they put some small writing on there about the specifics of it, the specific gravity and how much it weighs. Huge cigar case. Everything's more expensive in silicon. So yeah, magnets. That's how it works. Really neat. I mean, so you're able to see the level all because of magnets. Well, all right. I think we're going to wrap it up there, fellas. I appreciate everybody that stopped by today. I just want to thank you for that. And please hit the like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. Tell your friends. Spread the word. Let them know what pops here. I stream every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Mountain Time with Trades Talk. On Saturdays, that is retro game time. And that's when we're playing some Odin Sphere. And man, oh man, I'm getting along far in that game. I can't wait to get through to the end. Such a good story. You're Magneto, master of magnet, name the game. I don't know what game that is. Master of magnet. Is there a board game that had a magnet? They're still not over those silicone seals at $5,000 a piece. I know, right? Here, you know how much these seals cost? $5,000. Yeah. As I pick my jaw up off the floor. You ran with my little Red Riding waifu comment. Of course I did. It was too good not to use. I hope you're not upset about it. I thought, you know what? I'll use that one. It's pretty darn good. Yeah, Odin Sphere on Saturdays. I really want to get through that. That's such a good game. Then on Sunday Anime Chat, we're doing March Movie Mayhem. It's nothing but anime movies, so I'll pick one and we'll go through it. And we'll have a good time checking out these movies. I'm liking these movies to watch. Got some really good ones here. Last time we watched The Wind Rises, and then it was what was it again? Captain Harlock. And then last week it was Lensman. So we'll see what comes up this week. Maybe something a little more modern. Okay, Godzilla, that was the X-Men arcade game from the 90s with 6 joysticks. 6 joysticks. Wow. I don't think I remember that one, but man, 6 joysticks, 6 people playing all at once. Just mayhem. So that's what I'm up to. When I'm not streaming, you should check out these other people, like Mike from Pacific 404, or DJ Ronnie G, who's in the chat. If you like tech, turtles, and astronomy, you want to hang out with DJ Ronnie G. There's also Brandon the Anime Guy, or Carl at the RNG Podcast. There's also the Comic Relief Crusader, who's probably streaming right now too. He's a fellow Albertan, and he streams pretty much the same days I do. On Saturdays he has a movie matinee at noon, and then he's got Huge Circles, which is his drawing stream on Sundays, also at noon. Is Paprika or Perfect Blue on the movie list? I haven't decided yet, Godzilla, but you're recommending those? I can look into that. There was an X-Men game for NES, but it was crap. Aw, that's unfortunate. I don't think they can ever get the X-Men games that well done. I felt that for comic book games, video games, the Batman Arkham series, the first 2, Arkham Asylum and Arkham City, as I was playing that, I felt like Batman playing that game. And the story was good too. And they had Kevin Conroy. So what more do you want? Kevin Conroy voicing the Batman. You get to feel like Batman. I don't think they could do that anymore with games, superhero games. Oh, Pacific's gaming right now. There you go. You guys can pop over and see how Mike's doing. There's also Infinite Metal. You can check him out. I think he's streaming right now too on Kick and Twitch. Stop by, see Infinite. See how his Undead Dragon Lord's doing. Watch him play some retro games. You'd rather feel like billionaire Bruce Wayne with all your billions and billions of dollars. Yeah, I hear you, Godzilla. And finally, you can always check out an excellent VTuber. She's very family friendly, very warm and welcoming. Her name is Call Me Kixie. She's over on Twitch. She streams on Saturdays. And you're in for a chill time as she plays indie games. But yeah, she's very welcoming. You guys, very enjoyable as a VTuber to watch. Anyways, that's going to do it for me tonight. Everybody, I hope you had a good time. I had a fun time. I hope you did as well. I'll be back here on Saturday for gaming and Sunday for anime chat. Hope to see you guys then. But until then, I've been Pop, and I am signing off.